Hi guys, I just realized that during the meetup, we never posted anything about the results from having Veda and Oakley on. So, I've got the computer on. I'm trying to a little bit, so I can still get to the mouse or the touchpad. So these are the results for when we had Veda and Oakley on. So let's see, I think I can go through all of them at once. Okay, so this would have been Veda on, zoom out a little. This would have been for the 9th. So, this would have been the 9th, so this would have been after Krystle got to the hotel. We turned both of the babies on. Actually, we had all the babies on. I believe we turned them all on. Wait, Heather and I turned ours on when we got, not long after we got there. And then when Krystle got there, she turned Veda on as well, or she had me turn Veda on as well. And then we called our Uber and went to Target. So these are our results for that evening. So, let's see. Veda was on schedule 9. And she started... Okay, it says she started on the 9th at 6 p.m. and stopped on the 10th at 6 p.m. That was what she was scheduled for, but that wasn't when we shut them off. So here we go. For this one, Krystle got rocking 1 out of 1, so that was 100. Diaper 1 out of 1, so that was 100. Burp 3 out of 1, so that was 100. Feed 3 out of 4. Or excuse me, the burp was 3 out of 3, so that was 100. Feeding was 3 out of 4, so that was 75. And average was 8 out of 9, so she got 89%. She got points deducted for head support. Is all she got points deducted for, and then that missed feed because she did the head support while she was feeding her. And there was one time she used the ID, so that would have been probably at the head support. And yeah, so it says start stimulation at 6:24, missing head support, or missed feeding at 6:40, missed head support at 6:40, so those happened at the same time. And then we turned them off at 11:26. So that was her report for that day, and the next will probably be mine. Here is Oakley's. I gotta go up this way. So Oakley was on schedule 9 as well. I turned her on at 2 p.m. So that would have been not long after we got back to, Heather and I got to the hotel. So anyways, rocking, I got 2 out of 2, so that was 100. Diaper, 3 out of 3, so that was 100. Burp, 3 out of 3, so that was 100. Feeding was 4 out of 5, so that was 80. So on average, I had 12 over 13, so that was 92%. And I had the 1 head support, and that would have been when we were in the Uber. So it shows that I turned the stimulation. I started stimulation at 2. Missed head support at 9:06. Missed feed at 9:06. So I was feeding her in the cab when her head fell back. Out of the Uber. And then she was also turned off at 11:26. And I believe the next day would have been Tuesday when we went to the mall. So this is once again Veda. This was on the 10th. She was on schedule 14. There was no rocks. Diaper, there was 1 diaper change, so that was 1 out of 1. There was 1 burp, so that was 1 out of 1. 1 feed, 1 out of 1. So there was 3 out of 1, or 3 out of 3, and that was 100%. She was turned on at 3:45 and turned off at 9:55. So we turned them on just after we left the American Girl store. So there's our answer at what time we left the American Girl store. It was 3:45. And we got to the mall at 10. We went to the American Girl store to see what was going on. We went to one other place and then came back to the American Girl store. I don't remember where we went in the meantime. Like, for the life of me, I cannot think of it. Did we go and come back? Because we got there a little bit after 10. I think we may have went upstairs and ate earlier. I honestly don't remember. So the next will be mine, and that will be Oakley. I have diaper changes. She was on schedule 13, so we realized if we put them on the same schedule, within minutes they would be crying of each other. So I changed Oakley's schedule, so she was on 13. So I've got 0 rocks, 0 to 0. Diaper changes, there's 4 out of 4. Burps, there's 1 out of 1. Feeds are 2 out of 2. So average, I had 7 events, so I had 7 out of 7, and that was 100%. She was turned on at 3:45 and turned off at 9:55, and that was after we got back to the hotel. We were all kind of pooped and just kind of going through and recapping the day when they got shut off. And then this would have been the 12th. On the 11th, on Wednesday, we did not turn the babies on at all. We changed them, and that was about it. We didn't even take them out of the hotel room that day, because that was the day that we went and ate lunch at Denny's. Then we went over to Trader Joe's, and then went over to Marshall's and came back to the hotel. So that was kind of our lazy day, and we decided no babies. So this was the day that we spent with Kylie, and we were at the mall pretty much all day. When we went to Sea Life, we did not turn the babies on. We did not turn the babies on until we went upstairs to Dick's. We had decided during Sea Life we weren't going to do that. The time before we had the meetup there, the Sea Life was called Underwater Adventure. And when we did that, Tammy had her baby on. I think she was the only one with a baby on. I don't even think I turned my babies on at the mall at all. I think the only time in that whole trip my babies were on was the night that Krystle took one of them. And that was when she took Tristan, I believe it was. So I think that was during that trip. That was the only time one of my babies were turned on. But anyways, so we turned them on before we went to Dick's. So simulation started at 1 p.m. I think it says 1:08 p.m. Now, this was also the day that we went through the mall. We had a great time at the mall, but there was a major, like, monsoon type downpour as we were waiting for our shuttle. And any of you that have ever been to the Mall of America and know the main entrance where the shuttles and taxis drop off, they have this area to wait for the shuttles. It is away from the main door. Like, you have to walk, I would say, probably 40 to 50 yards from the main entrance to get to where the shuttles for the the hotels pick up. The problem with this is they just have these really, really crappy canopies. And I don't know how this would even work in winter. Like, you'd stand outside freezing your butt out waiting for your shuttle. Because a lot of the shuttles will pull up. People are typically waiting there. They load up the people waiting there. And they take off. They may wait 5 minutes at most. But you need to be kind of paying attention. And there's so many shuttles coming and going. From the main entrance, you wouldn't even be able to see if it was your shuttle coming or going. And then when we decided to go outside and wait for our shuttle, it started raining. And we ran to under these little awning things that were no help. At first, actually, they were fine. But once it started downpouring, it was raining sideways. So with the raining sideways, we were getting soaked. And what was kind of irritating about that was and I'm not even going to call him a gentleman. Like Heather, Krystle, and I are standing there with our strollers. All 3 dolls are crying. We're just trying to, you know, worry about keeping them dry so they don't, something doesn't happen like with the electronics getting wet. I was also trying to keep my diaper bag dry because my laptop was in it. And so we're backed up trying to stay dry. And I mean, we're getting soaked. Our babies are getting soaked. This awning isn't even doing anything at this point. It's raining sideways. And we're trying to get behind this plexiglass wall and try to at least semi stay dry. And I'm standing next to this bench, and our feet are getting soaked, our shoes are getting soaked, we're getting soaked. And I'm standing next to this bench, and this guy with this laptop and a suit comes running over, literally, like, he almost hit Heather herself as he's running over to get to the bench. Now, mind you, he's not coming over to get to sit on the bench. He's jumping up to stand on the bench to stay dry and keep his feet from getting wet. And, like, he literally hit me 3 times with his laptop bag in the head. And literally, his hotel came up. If he would have hit me one more time with that bag, I would have literally pushed him off that bench. Because I was wet. Oakley was crying. Veda was crying. Mateo was crying. We're trying to keep our babies from getting super soaked. I had flipped my sunshade over as much as I could on Oakley to keep her dry. And my stroller was soaked as well. All of our strollers were soaked. And poor Krystle is trying to keep Veda dry, but with her stroller, the way it is, there really wasn't much. The sunshade isn't, her stroller is a small umbrella stroller, so the sunshade pretty much did absolutely nothing. There was really no protection. She had a blanket on Veda that she was trying to keep dry, or trying to use to keep Veda dry. But we didn't really purchase much that day, so we weren't really carrying much. So yeah, it was frustrating all around, that situation. So that is why there is 1 missed care for both Krystle and I on that day. I believe there should be 1 missed care for both of us. So yeah, she was turned on at 1:06, turned off at 8:31, and that was when we got to the hotel room. So we've got 3 out of 3 rocking, 3 out of 3 diaper changes, 3 out of 3 burping, 4 out of 5 feeds. And the other reason why it was the feeds that was the issue was because the poster putty was not sticking to their mouths. As soon as the poster putty got wet, it would not stick at all. And Krystle had to get the white poster putty, which isn't as sticky as the blue poster putty, because she forgot to bring some. And I only had the little bit that I had on Oakley's pacifier, and Heather only had the little bit that she had on Mateo's pacifier. I think mine had a head support too, yep. So I've got 2 out of 3 rockings because when did I miss the rocking? We put them on different schedules that day as well. So I've got 2 out of 3 rocking, and it said I missed... Where is... Okay. So 2 out of 3 rocking, 3 out of 3 diaper, 3 out of 3 burp, 4 out of 5 feeding, average 12 out of 14, and then I had the head support. So it said at 3:55 I had the head support. That would have been when we were still with Kylie. And then it said at... Okay, I don't remember the head support. I really don't. That would have been after Dick's. And she would have been in her stroller, so that makes absolutely no sense. It says at 8:12 I missed a rock that would have been when, like, literally we were out there for probably a good 15-20 minutes. So yeah, the rocking, she was crying for the rocking as we were going out there. And then I got to the point where I just didn't care. And then the mist feed was at 8:29, and then I turned her off at 8:30. Or no, 6:29. Yeah, because once we got back to the hotel, we shut them right back, or shut them off. So that was our reports for when we had the babies on, at the Mall of America, or when we went on the meetup. And I hope, I guess, some of you could probably care less about this. Some of you might be interested in it, just see how our results were for our trip. So, hope everybody has a great day, and I will see you all later. Bye!